call this April 1st meeting of the Paducah Planning Commission and URCDA meeting to order, and would ask that you stand with me as we recite the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Summers, would you call the roll, please?
Commissioner Benberry.
Here.
Commissioner Carmen.
Here.
Commissioner Griffin. Commissioner Kaler.
Here.
Commissioner Morrison.
Here.
Commissioner Rhodes.
Here.
Chairman Wade.
Here. All right. Our first item of business is the minutes from the March 4th meeting. And Commissioner, I believe you have that for us?
Yes. I move that the reading of the minutes for March 4th, 2024 be waived, and the minutes of said meeting as prepared by the staff be approved as written.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Are there any corrections, deletions, edits of any kind that anyone wants us to discuss on those minutes? Hearing none, Mr. Summers, would you call the roll, please?
Commissioner Carmen.
Here.
Commissioner Kaler.
Aye.
Commissioner Morrison.
Aye.
Commissioner Rhodes.
Aye.
Commissioner Benberry.
Aye.
Chairman Wade.
Aye. We have one item of business for the URCDA, and Mr. Summers, I believe you'll give us a report on that first.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is an addendum to an award that was previously granted to Mr. Wilkinson at 219 Broadway. He has finished out 8 rental units that was started back in 2021. At the time, the maximum payout was $45,000 for those 8 units. He's since completed those, and the grant funding has went up for the upper story residential units, making him eligible for a total of $120,000. We are forwarding a favorable recommendation to award the additional $75,000 to make that total $120,000, based that these are 8 units, which is 3 2-bedroom apartments and 5 1-bedroom apartments. The documented investment in the downtown program area was more than $2.3 million, and the applicant would have been eligible for the full award of $120,000 if funding had been available upon completion of the project in 2021. So, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to turn it back over to you.
All right. Commissioner Rhodes, I believe you have a motion on this.
I do. I move that the URCDA approve the award of an additional $75,000 for the project at 219, completed in 2021, based on the following findings of fact. Applicant's complete project consists of 8 units, 3 2-bedroom apartments and 5 1-bedroom apartments. The documented investment in the downtown program area was more than $2.3 million. The applicant would have been eligible for the full award of $120,000 if funding had been available upon completion of the project.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion?
I have one question. This was initiated in 2021, I think. If we go back to 21 and others come forward for the new amount, are they going to be afforded the same?
Mr. Hutchinson, I will defer to you to answer that.
The grant award of $15,000 per unit has not changed. What happened was the project was completed in 21, and then the $45,000 was paid out in fiscal year 22-23, and then the remaining funding is to come out of 23-24. So that's why we're coming back to get the remainder of that incentive for $15,000 per unit for the last 5 units of the 8.
Do we anticipate within this fiscal year, the 23-24 fiscal year, other projects that would be asking for this money?
All other projects, funding has been appropriated for.
Okay, and so there is sufficient.
The last application was for 6 Shamrock development, which is the old Innovation project on Upper Broadway. And that's 4 units, and that's already been approved and allocated.
Okay, so there's sufficient money to pay for this?
Yep.
And not push anybody into the 24-25 fiscal year?
Correct.
Thank you. Any other questions? You and I had pretty much the same one. All right, hearing none. Mr. Summers, will you call the roll, please?
Commissioner Rhodes,
Aye.
Commissioner Benberry,
Aye.
Commissioner Carmen,
Aye.
Commissioner Kaler,
Aye.
Commissioner Morrison,
Aye.
Chairman Wade.
Aye. All right, our next item is a Planning Commission new petition related to 3750 Pecan Drive at 600, 601, 675 Deer Lick Place. Mr. Summers?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is a right-of-way closure in the amount of 710 square feet of Colonial Drive and 38,302 square feet of Deer Lick Place to be closed. This is for an up-and-coming subdivision to be known as the Woodlands Reserve, and it'll have a total of 12 lots for single-family development. In order to create the lot lines and subdivide each side of the right-of-ways, these right-of-ways have to be closed first so that each half goes to a new lot or a property line can be created in whatever configuration that they need. These original right-of-ways were platted in 1927, so we're talking about a pretty old subdivision from the county when it was first created. And as of right now, these right-of-ways are not being used in any public capacity. They have trees in them, they have grass in them, and so they're not used at all. So we are forwarding a favorable recommendation to the Planning Commission for a favorable recommendation to the Board of Commissioners to close these right-of-ways. We did have 2 comments to show the property lines at the end of the closed portions of the right-of-way, and to please include that the right-of-ways are to be closed in the intent on the plat. So with that, Mr. Chairman, I would be glad to turn it back over to you for the public hearing.
All right, I believe Vice Chairman Morrison, you have the motion.
Yes, sir. I move that this commission adopt a resolution forwarding a positive recommendation to the Board of Commissioners to vacate and close 24,710 square feet of Colonial Drive and 38,302 square feet of Deer Lick Place.
Second.
All right, moved and seconded. I will now open a public hearing for anyone who wishes to comment on this action. I would ask that anyone who wants to speak come to the podium, state your name and address. Anyone? Any questions from the commission? All right. Then I will have this public hearing be closed. And Mr. Summers, I think it's time to call the roll.
Commissioner Morrison,
Aye.
Commissioner Rhodes,
Aye.
Commissioner Benberry,
Aye.
Commissioner Carmen,
Aye.
Commissioner Kaler,
Aye.
Chairman Wade.
Aye. All right, our next item.
Thank you all.
You're not staying?
Thank you.
Cindy, you and Alberta not staying for the festivities?
Our next item is, relates to 3315 Pines Road. And Mr. Summers, I'll let you comment on that.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Planning Commission has seen this plat before. The preliminary was approved on March 6, 2023, and the previous final plat was approved on September 7th, 2023. At that time, the intent of the plat was to create lots for a 2-family dwelling to be on each lot itself. Since that time, the petitioner has changed their model a little bit to where they wish to sell off each side of the 2-family dwelling and put a property line down the firewall so they can sell off each side. So what that does is it does not change density, it does not change any physical characteristic of the site itself. The only new things that was changed on the revised final plat is that a multi-purpose easement has been proposed across lots 29 through 32 for ingress and egress, utilities, and stormwater, and also a sewer easement was established across Tract B, where the stormwater detention area is. Other than that, everything else has remained the same. There's still going to be sidewalks, there's still going to be a sign area, there's still going to be a fence easement, and Mr. Goins is here to answer any further questions you all have. So, Mr. Chairman, I would like to turn it back over to you, please.
All right, thank you. Commissioner Benberry, I believe you have a motion on this.
Yes, sir. I move that this commission adopt a resolution approving the revised final subdivision of property located at 3315 Pines Road.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any questions, comments? Well, I will start with a question. And for that easement that is going across lots 28 through 32, really, can't tell exactly how far back does that push the houses, particularly on 30, 31, or 31 and 32? Is there sufficient? Is there going to remain sufficient building size?
Ask that again, if you don't mind. Which lot numbers again?
Particularly as it pertains to 31 and 32, I just want to ensure that there is sufficient space to put the proposed building improvements on that abbreviated, for lack of a better term.
Yeah, it'll just be shifted back somewhat because of that, but there's plenty of room there for
Even
that
with
same
the rear
duplex.
setback lines. There's not a dimension that's listed, and since you're here, I thought I'd ask you.
No, there's not a dimension on it, but no, the floor plans for the duplex that are intended will fit just fine in that same footprint.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions?
Did we not have a lot of discussion about some fencing or something on the back side of that? We had almost every resident here, if I remember correctly.
You're correct.
Yeah, there's a 15-foot fence easement that goes along that entire back property line that butts up to River Oaks.
Is it the same one that was like,
Well, that was an existing.
That was for
Right.
that existing fence kind of meanders. This is for new fence to be
Okay.
built back there, yeah.
Any other questions? All right. Mr. Summers, would you call the roll, please?
Commissioner Benberry,
aye?
Commissioner Carmen,
Aye.
Commissioner Kaler,
Aye.
Commissioner Morrison,
Aye.
Commissioner Rhodes,
Aye.
Chairman Wade.
Aye. The last item of business we had on our agenda was a text amendment that has, at the request of the City of Paducah, leadership has been pulled from the agenda, so no action will happen on that tonight. Tentatively, it may reappear in the May meeting, but, and we don't have anybody here to speak to that, the public hearing that would have been held for that text amendment. So I think that closes that out. Any other business that anyone would like to have discussed?
Does that have to be just a technical kind of thing? Does that have to be advertised again for?
Yes,
So
it was advertised for this meeting. Since the announcement was made that it'll be on the May 6th, we can just roll that over, and I've notified the one resident that reached out, which
Okay.
represents the Harrison Street
That was my
neighborhood.
next question. Did we
Yeah.
have any that reached
That was
out?
the only comment that I got, and I responded directly back to Ms. Jones, and she's kind of speaking for the neighborhood, so she's let them all know that May 6th is
Okay.
when it may tentatively reappear.
So we do have, even though doesn't appear we have any response, we do have some response.
Yes, just from the one,
Okay.
but we'll see what happens on the 6th, so.
Right.
If that is when it reappears.
It's tentatively, yes.
Tentative.
We definitely hope so,
We're
Mr.
not locking
Chairman.
ourselves in. All right, with no other business, we'll say that our meeting is adjourned at 5:44.
Very good.
Thank you all.
Thank you.